I've had my world for about 2 years now, and progress has been slow to say the least. So to finally finish my starter base, I devised a checklist for us to follow, and our journey will begin on the Desolate Peninsula. So I think the first thing on the agenda today to build is finally finish this area. I mean, I did this a long time ago, but I've been waiting to finish this area finally since it's been going to nowhere for the past year. So let's just get into it. Do this whole area right now. Alright, that took way longer than I thought it would. Honestly, that was like almost 3 hours doing this. But I am happy with how this area came out. And it does actually play into the story of this area, which I think I will be explaining at the end of the video after everything is put in place. But I do have one thing I want to put down that I've yet to do here. Back here, we have some bunnies. I want to put them down and just have them as some ambient thing. But I think I'm just going to place these guys around here just to make this place a little more lively. Now I can just hook his lead onto there. Bam. He should be stuck walking around here. Let me do those other 2 rabbits real quick. And there we go. There's all 3 of these rabbits. Hopefully these 2 don't cook themselves. But if you have any idea for names for these 3, feel free to leave them in the comments, especially now that it's so easy to get name tags. But now we can move on to build the second thing in our list. Now there is another part at the base that is an eyesore, and I do want to get rid of this, and I have actually cooked up a build to get rid of it, and it's this bamboo wall. It's been here since practically the start, and I finally got some inspiration on what to replace it with. So if you've ever been to the beach, there's this long road and there's these almost a hill of dunes. So I want to make some dunes. They're not too terribly big. I wanted to make some dunes, and then they obviously have a lot of grass shoots. So I am putting some pickles and candles on it. Hopefully it translates well. Alright, I just finished this area. I know I didn't show it in a time lapse, but I just decided not to because this is just finishing what I started last episode. So I got a little fishing area. You know, I have a whole bunch of fish that we're about to put in there. Got a little skiff. I gotta fill this in with all these fish that I got. There's all the fish. However, this one does not have any fish in it because I'm going to bring the turtle from the very start of the world. I'm actually going to give him his own crib. Okay. Oh, shoot. I have no idea if he's going to want to stay in here. He's already trying to leave. I think we'll be fine. I don't think he'll get out. So that is another goal we could check off. We have the whole entire fishing area done. That brings the question, what should I do next? And actually, I had an idea. So I want to go get a cat just to have in my base. I always get the same cat every single time. I get the tuxedo cat. That's because it looks just like my IRL cat, and I want to give it like a little cat tower. I want to build a palm tree and then give it like its own little cat tower to just look out on the beach. So looks like we're gonna have to travel to the village real quick, see if we can get one there. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any cats here, so off to the next village. All right, I finally found it. Sweet. All right, I completed this tree. The cat's supposed to go up there. This is supposed to be like claw marks, kind of like expose the sap. Not sure if it works. You know, if you have any other ideas for that, I don't think glow lichen would be the best. It's my other option, but leave it in the comments, please. Now we have to find a way to lead our cat up in there. Okay, so my first thought is just to get on top of the tree. Oh crap. Okay. Oh, okay. That was not bad at all. Alright. That is another little project, a little mini project. Another thing that can be ticked off of the list. But now I'm going to get started on building a place to keep our checklist. This is another captain's quarter. We have one over there. We have one over here. And the checklist for today's episode is going to be put in here. And I think the next thing that I want to add is a river going down probably around to my little stuff right there. Just because, you know, since I got rid of the water over there, I think we need a pop of blue. So just gonna bring this down, and then hopefully what I want to do is I want to make a little bit of a bridge going from here to here. The river's not going to be that big, but I do want to make a little bridge, and it really just is going to tie off this section and kind of make a barrier and open up this next area. Alright, now that the river is done, there's just a couple things I want to do to it. So obviously, first of all, I want to have a walking pathway across it. Just some debris, nothing too crazy, but I like to keep this all walkable. And then I think it'll also give some more depth if we have something, it's a little tiny piece of debris arching over. I want to have like a bush right here and then some dirt, just so it has like an actual endpoint. And just because I don't love the endpoint right there, I think it'd look a lot better if there was the bush here, and it would make sense because soil would be taking in the water, so it would have no place to go. And obviously I have to do this sort of coast, just fix it up a little, maybe add something right here, add something little right here. And then I think I'm gonna keep this side empty so far, just so I can leave other ideas available. And yeah, I do actually think this is like exactly the effect that I wanted. Just break up the green. Obviously there's more green over here. I do have a little bit of water for my cat, but maybe that's a sign that we need a little bit more. I'm not sure yet, but I do like this. It gives the area a little break in terrain as well. And I just went ahead and finished the entire thing real quick. I mean, it wasn't that much. It was just a little bit of terraforming. I added a little bit more here, you know, added some more debris into the lake. But my main problem right now is how little I've planned of this actual area. So I actually want to go to creative and make a plan so we can start making some actual progress on this entire build. I'm here in creative and I have a couple of things laid down. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to put these in and then see where I want to go after that. So starting here, obviously my cat's right here, so obvious to put my dog in here. This is just a little terraforming thing. That's what the green means, is terraforming. And I'm putting this here because I used to play with like realistic physics for like the item drop back when I used a client. Now I just use the normal launcher, and these are just forever stuck in my world, so I need to cover them up with something. And right here I'm gonna be putting the super smelter back down. I had it a long time ago, and you know, I might as well. So you'll see me in a time lapse doing all these in the real world. Let's get into that. And there we have it. Finished this entire area. I am super happy with how this super smelter came out. I think it might be my favorite ship that I've built. And I made sure to frame it very well, which is going to be hard to keep once we build stuff over here. I made sure to frame it with the terrain surrounding. Our camel actually has a place to lay down at. And from here, I think I really need to tackle an issue that has been stopping me for quite a while. So if we come into my base right here, you might notice that this is practically my only storage for everything except dirt, sand, and stone, which is over there. And I don't know if you know this, this is super annoying. Like, you could just tell, you could just look at it. It's very, very annoying. So I thought, you know, there's this big open area right here. Why don't I make something that I could put each type of wood in, because that is a bulk of this storage, and that would get rid of so many of my issues with storage right now, to just separate all the pieces of wood. So by the time I'm recording this, dappled wood is not in the game. So there's oak, birch, acacia, dark oak, pale, spruce, mangrove, jungle, bamboo, and cherry. I'm not counting the 2 nether ones because I have no idea how I would even go about bringing that here. So pretty much what I want to achieve with this area, or I might even put it up there, I'm not quite sure yet. I want to get rid of the need for that storage room, at least in terms of wood. I want it to be so much easier. So this is going to be probably the biggest thing on the checklist because of how many types of wood there are. But by the end of this, the beach will be practically finished. And now that all the storage is ready, I just gotta fill up the chest with the wood. There you have it. That really frees up a lot of room. Funnily enough though, I really don't have that much wood left because I've used it all this video. So it was at this point when I started to hit a wall. Just to give you the gist, I thought my builds were becoming too busy, so I attempted to fix it, and this may be a thing I'll make a full video on later. Okay, so I just went ahead and I fully completed the build. As you saw in that last clip, I had a little bit of a change in mindset when it came to building here, and I just kind of wanted it to seem a lot less busy. So that's what I did, and I don't want to take away from the view, not necessarily this mountain, but there's something that I will make, and I already thought that there's just so much here. If I put even more right here, I feel like it would be even more crowded. I just wanted to give a little calm area, right? Same with up here. I didn't want to do too much, primarily just because I didn't want to ruin the view of this ship. Like, I didn't want to take away from that. So I didn't put too much here. Yeah, but we gotta go put down our maps, and then I will explain the story of this entire area. So just gonna get our empty maps here. Now I just gotta go lock these real quick. So we're just gonna come over here. I did move these past maps just so I had room for the biggest one. And then we have all 4 of these. This is just, man, this is crazy. So let's just move on to this one. Yeah, this is gonna take me a bit. There's the entire map. Side note, I do not like how the dried grass shows up like that. That is really ugly. I don't know if the dried grass was even in the game when this map was made. I don't think it was. Other than that, I'm very, very happy to finally say that we're done with the beach. You know, I said I would get into the lore of the area. Actually, one more thing we need to do. Bam. That's crazy. I did not think that we were gonna do this in the 1,000 days, I'm not gonna lie. This area follows one exiled man. He explores in search of a home. He eventually gathers food and discovers the past of the area. And in the process, he lost his mind. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching this. Sorry if this was a little build heavy and nothing else. You know, we finished a lot today. This is a big milestone episode. So yeah, again, thank you for watching. See you.